with the state of Connecticut. The Wallingford police were also helpful, and we were in constant contact with the FBI along the way. So wanted to take a moment in particular to underscore the fast work of the police department in helping bring some initial resolution to what we believe is progress in this case. I'm going to hand it over to Chief Dominguez to share some more details.
Good afternoon. So, unfortunately today at approximately 9:19 this morning, we had a female who was murdered in the area of Clifton and Lenox Street. The female is identified as Alicia Mesquita, 28-year-old woman from New Haven. We believe we have the suspect in custody. He is a person of interest in this case. However, he's under arrest for an assault warrant out of West Haven. The suspect is Rashad Newton, and he is 27 years old. In the car at the time of the murder was their 1-year-old child. We are happy to report that 1-year-old child is safe, currently at the hospital just for precautionary reasons to be looked at. We're very thankful that we were able to locate the child in a short amount of time. Detectives and patrol worked extremely hard and extremely fast on this case. Right from the beginning, we got multiple community members who came forward and were able to provide information that was able to lead us in the right direction and be able to locate the child and also the suspect extremely fast. Many officers were involved. The Detective Bureau was instrumental in finding both, and we're just extremely grateful for the men and women of the New Haven Police Department and the work that they did to be able to provide this family just a small piece of peace at this extremely difficult time. And we're able to safely locate the child. I can take any questions that might be helpful.
Chief, were the child and the father located together or at separate locations? And if so, where?
They were located on Eastern Street together.
Eastern Street in New Haven. Were they at a residence? Were they at a business in their car?
The investigation is still ongoing, so right now we're just gonna, that's as much as we can give you, just to not compromise what's been going on. A lot of hard work still needs to happen in this case.
And why was Wallingford police involved?
Wallingford, we ran every address that they both had, so there were several addresses that were out of New Haven, and the surrounding towns, including Wallingford, was very helpful in giving us everything we needed immediately, and we're very thankful for them, and also the state police for checking some addresses for us that were in resident trooper towns.
Did the murder actually take place on Clifton Street?
Yes, and on Clifton at Lexington. It was a domestic dispute, began in the vehicle. The victim exited the vehicle, and at that point she was shot.
And the suspect having a history in New Haven, I know you mentioned he had a warrant out of West Haven, but in New Haven, was he familiar with the authorities?
He was, but nothing to this extent. But yes, he had some other incidents in New Haven.
New Haven police had, as I understand it, an officer or two really right there on scene at the bottom of Clifton and Quinnipiac Avenue. Can you talk more about that?
We had an extra duty officer, Officer Mortali. He was working right in the area in Clifton, and he heard the gunshots, and he was able to provide us with some information right away from being very close on scene.
I know at the crime scene, police were looking for like surveillance video and like other did that come through at all in the investigation or anything?
We're still canvassing, and the public has been, and the community in that area has been extremely helpful. So we're hoping to be able to develop some really good leads from the information we've gathered.
Did the father go peacefully when he was encountered?
Yes, he did. He gave up. No injuries or issues to the officer or to the Mr. Newton.
Was he still in possession of a firearm. I know he hasn't been charged with murder yet, but,
We're still investigating it. The investigation is ongoing.
and the child seemed healthy and,
The child was taken to the hospital but is not injured, but needs to be evaluated by medical personnel.
would you mind spelling the first and last name of the victim for us?
Yes. Alessia, last name Mesquita.
Thank you.
And where is the suspect located right now? Is he in your custody?
Yes, he is.
Can you speak again to just how fortunate we are that we not only found the child so quickly, but also that the child is unharmed?
Out of a tragic event, to have a child that was, there for it, to have a child that is uninjured is amazing. And it is something, it's this small piece of hope and thankfulness that we have that this child was physically uninjured. Obviously we don't know what road ahead is mentally, and we always need to be aware of, and that's why we're doing everything we can to start that process of healing.
And these were current domestic partners?
Yes, boyfriend, girlfriend, with the child in common.
Did they live together, Chief?
Unsure at this point.
There hasn't been any other domestic calls between the two that you can speak to?
Not that we have knowledge of at this moment.
Chief, do you have any updates on last night's shooting? There was a victim that was in critical condition.
Do you have an update on the victim?
Stable.
He's still stable. As of last night, he had gone in for surgery, but no update yet. Beyond that.
As the chief, can you speak to kind of the emotional toll? I mean, I know that if you're looking at a woman, young, relatively young, mother of a 1-year-old daughter, gone like that, it seems to be nothing. I mean, what could justify that? Can you talk to that?
Yeah, it was a very emotional day for everyone here. Any time a life is taken is emotional. Add that to a young mother. She's actually a mother of 2. Only the 1-year-old was in the car. And then just the uncertainty to where the child was is very emotionally taxing on the officers. Many of them are parents, and it's difficult to try to go through and to keep your head focused. But obviously that's what these officers did, because they were able to pay attention, to see, to be able to locate and do really great police work. Unfortunately, this is our second domestic incident in a couple weeks where we had another young woman murdered in a domestic related incident. So domestic violence is something that we're always aware of. It's always something that we need to be paying attention to as community members, as clergy, as family members, because you don't know what is going to be the tipping point and what is going to escalate to something potentially this tragic happening. Were there warning signs? Potentially, and that might all come out in the investigation. And you don't ever want to be in a position as your loved one where you look back to say, oh, something was off. So we ask, just with everybody in your lives, please pay attention, and if you need help, please reach out. We have the Hope Family Justice Center. We have so many resources in New Haven that you can turn to as a victim, that you can turn to as a family member who believe that your loved one is being victimized, so that we can help prevent these, because these are the hardest one for the police to be able to prevent, because we don't always see the signs. We can't always make those connections.
Has bond been set for him yet?
It's a warrant. Do you know what the warrant was? $250,000 on the West Haven warrant.
On the West End, okay. And that's why you gather information to see if you can have a murder charge stick, I would assume?
Correct. The investigation ongoing. We need to make sure that we have everything in line. We're in contact with the state's attorney, and any future developments will make sure that is released.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. Good to go.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Mayor. Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you.
I keep it blue.